So John Cena just turned heel. I keep saying it out loud and feels like it's real, but then I rewatch the turn and it hits me right in the face again just how mind-blowing this is. It's lit WWE on fire on the road to WrestleMania, and it's already being talked about as among the greatest heel turns of all time. I'm not going to do that here because I think it's far too early. But now that we've had the heel turn, we need to talk about the heel run. And there are a good few questions to be answered. The only question I have in storyline terms is when Rock and Cena agreed on this alliance. Because with the most prominent good guy in wrestling turning to the dark side for the first time in 20 years, there needs to be a good logical explanation as to why it's happened. Also, what's Cena going to look like as a heel? What will his promos be like? What will his wrestling be like? Will he have new music? Will he even have new attire? The idea of this turn has been discussed for so long that to actually see what's going to come of it is endlessly fascinating. But now we turn our attention to WrestleMania. Face Cody Rhodes versus heel John Cena for the WWE Championship. I do think Cena should have one match before Mania. It'd be good for the fans to see what he's like as a heel before the big match, and it might even help convince some fans who were on the fence to put down some money to watch the show. The opponent should definitely be R-Truth, by the way. With Cena being his childhood hero, this turn has hit him very hard indeed, and he's the perfect candidate for Cena to squash, to serve as the prologue for this run, and also to get him even more heat. There's so much to think about with the prospect of heel Cena as champion. There's the question of how much he'd be around with the title, considering that he's not going to be at every single show. What will life with Cody Rhodes look like post-Mania if he's not the champion? But I don't think Cena beating Cody is as cut and dry as everyone says it is. Now, I know a lot of people will say, you can't beat this new heel Cena character right out the gate. But I don't think that's true. Yes, you can compare it to when Hogan turned heel and the idea of him not winning the world title straight away as Hollywood Hogan. What would that have done for the NWO? But I would instead compare this to another legendary heel turn, that of Andre the Giant. He turned on Hogan in the lead up to WrestleMania 3, and when it came time for the big match, he lost. He lost because it was the right thing to do to push the new top face of the company into another level, and that's what Cena can do with Cody. Plus, he'll have another 8 months after Mania, so you don't have to put the 17th title on his record straight away. It could even make Cena more desperate, more heelish, more brutal, if he feels like he's blown his big chance and he knows that time is running out. And I have the perfect finish for that match, in a way that draws parallels with last year's main event. With everyone else down, Rock is standing over Cody with the weight belt in his hand, just like last year. Then the lights go out, just like last year. But when the lights come back up, it's not Undertaker standing in the ring, it's Roman Reigns. He takes out everybody, he spears Rock. The match continues for a little longer, and Cody ultimately wins. Now, what this does, other than what I've already said about Cena's desperation, it sets up a potential Roman Rock match, or even a potential Roman Cena match. And it does make a bit of sense for Roman's character. After all, how does he feel that the final boss went outside the family to pick his own corporate champion? Why didn't he just go with the easy option of the tribal chief? And that's your story for the Roman Rock feud. That said, of course I don't mind if Cena wins either, and that's one of the great things about this match. Both options can work really well if the booking is right. As for the rest of Cena's run, there's so much else for him to do as a heel. Matches with the likes of CM Punk, Randy Orton and AJ Styles, with the heel-face dynamics reversed, could give way to some electric atmospheres. He could go after the Intercontinental title, the only championship he has not won in WWE. And you know you want to see John Cena versus Braun Breaker. But there's one more idea that I really hope could happen. It's something I mentioned in my previous video about Cena, which by the way, the vast majority of that has aged like milk now he's turned heel. But one that hasn't is the idea of John Cena invading TNA and going for their world title against Joe Hendry. There's an incredible heel-face dynamic to be mined from that anyway, but also the Impact Zone going all in on their hatred for WWE's corporately chosen champion. Sign me up. Plus, if Cena does have the WWE title in tow at that stage, you can make it a champion versus champion match. John Cena as the unified WWE TNA champion, extending his world title record to 18, making it even harder for anyone else to ever catch or break that record. That's good stuff. One thing we can be pretty confident of is that Cena won't end his career as a heel. The face turn will come eventually, and it could be as joyous as the heel turn was horrifying. You could play the long game with it, Cena getting increasingly frustrated with The Rock, just like Batista did with Triple H 20 years ago. And when he finally snaps and beats down the final boss, the place will explode. It could even set up his final match as being Rock versus Cena one more time. All in all, as I look at this landscape, I'm reminded that it's a really good time to be a wrestling fan. So often as fans we pine for the past. And yes, those moments were great, but we should never forget to live in the present. Look at Raw this past week. A good women's IC title match, a great men's tag title match, and an outstanding main event for the women's world title. It reminded me that wrestling's great now, and there's so much to look forward to, and that we're on our way to WrestleMania, and I can't wait. Thanks for watching the video, guys. If you enjoyed it, consider hitting the like button, sharing the video around, and subscribing to the channel.